recording? Yeah, you're live. I'm
One,
live.
check, two.
Line one's
We're in
live. Live two. Or line two is live. We're good, dude. We're 30 seconds in.
Are we really? Wow,
This
this
is
is
our
exciting.
First podcast episode live from the Raleigh Hotel in Denver, Colorado. Thank you guys for letting us transform this room. Kind of didn't have a choice, but
Right, surprise.
we
by
went
the
for
way.
it. Anyways, yeah, this is our first podcast episode. I'm Jason Lorenz, and this is Dustin Smith, and we are going to be trying to create a consistent podcast. I don't know if it's going to be every week or every 2 weeks. Yeah,
No,
we
dude,
haven't
let's do
worked
it
that
every
out.
week. Why
Every
not?
week?
Yeah.
You think we can commit
Dude,
to
let's
that?
do it every day.
Every day. One
Every
podcast
day.
episode per day. Yeah, that's our goal. Moving into 2023, this is something that's been on my mind for literally like 3 or 4 years now, and I actually had a lot of the equipment, and I guess I just had a talk with you, and you were like, dude, I'm down. So
Yeah, I'm just along for the ride at this point.
he was down. We decided that it's just going to be a cool lifestyle podcast. We're going to discuss our travels on here, going to discuss mindsets, the stuff we do.
Yeah, a lot of life stuff.
Yeah,
Life and style, lifestyle.
exactly. I come from an action sports background. Dustin comes from a hockey background. And I feel like the more we've talked about stuff, the more we've realized there's a lot of things that cross.
There's a lot of crossover.
There's a lot of crossover
Like,
between the sports, between action sports, between traditional sports. And
Yeah, right.
yeah.
but like with legitimately anything and everything else between, music industry, social media, basically any professional level, anything. I mean, you can start diving into like marketing, but that totally ties in with like everything that we've ever done.
It's true. And like the social media thing is so crazy and so prominent. We literally have this thing set up specifically for YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, we have our camera set up, obviously, so we can create YouTube content. And we have it set up a specific way so we can cut it down to TikTok and Instagram Reels, which is such a crazy concept to me because, yeah, we're just trying to take this long form content and squeeze a bunch of short form content out of it. So
Right.
it's kind of everything's for social media now.
Literally everything. Yeah, but like, this whole podcast setup, like it's super exciting. You could do literally anything and everything with it. Like all the ideas that you've thrown my way sounds super exciting, and I'm absolutely 100% down for.
Let's do it. We have some other really exciting ideas and episodes planned moving into 2023. I don't know when this thing's going to launch. I'm trying like in my head to put like a hard date, like this is when you're going to launch it. You need to have everything ready, but I still haven't come up with that. So
Hey, no rush. No rush.
also in advance, if we're smacking our lips, this is our first episode ever. So, oh no, this is our first episode ever. So we're working out the kinks. Hopefully it sounds
Right.
good.
Hopefully it sounds good, but also like if you're watching, look at these microphones. Look how legit these are. These are nice.
It looks
Obviously,
good.
if you're listening, you can't see it, but just imagine the best microphone setup you can imagine.
It looks good, and honestly, we got really lucky with this hotel room setup because there's this light that lights us up well. We got the kind of New York City, what did you say, late night show vibe with the
Very late night show vibe, but what people can't see or hear, obviously, is the fact that there's an ice rink down here in the middle of this courtyard. The Raleigh Hotel really is actually a sick hotel in general, but we're definitely gonna have to go ice skating at some point because obviously I play hockey and like ice skating is a part of my life. So anytime there's an ice rink near me, I feel not only obligated, but deep in my soul, I feel I need to put ice skates on and go ice skating.
Do you think that someday you'll be able to check off every ice rink in like maybe North America or the country at
No,
least?
not a chance. Not a
always popping
chance.
up.
Like, would I like to? Of course. Am I going to? No way. That's way too much work.
What about like stadiums? Do you skate at Bridgestone? Obviously, this
Yeah.
is like a completely random topic.
Oh, dude, we're getting into it.
But yeah, let's
First
let's
topic,
dive in.
first episode.
You get to skate at Bridgestone in Nashville. Do you ever get to skate at other arenas in other
No,
cities?
I haven't had opportunities to skate at any other arena. But I guess like if we're gonna go and dive into this, we might as well dive into like a little bit of background here. Like myself, I serve as an emergency goalie for the Nashville Predators. So, I get the call to jump in on practices and stuff like that. And just living in Nashville in general and playing hockey, I've had opportunities to play at Bridgestone Arena. Oh, you know what? This reminds me of a whole story.
Oh no. Let's go into story time right now.
We're like big, deep story time because we can go deep on this.
We can, or we could save it. We could save it for the Bonesy podcast.
I think we might have to save it for that because it goes deep and it ties in with like my entire story just with hockey in general. And like, I think the idea of doing an entire episode just on me because I'm a superstar. Like I have a lot of things going on and like just the hockey stuff in general. Like I got a lot of really cool hockey stories. I think we should definitely save that for another episode.
Yeah, let's do that for sure. Like I said, I definitely want to dive into your story. I definitely want to make this episode short and sweet, kind of give a real crisp, swift background on both of us.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, like I said, that you were down to do something like this. Again, I've had this idea for so long, and doing the YouTube stuff, doing like the random TikTok stuff, doing photo stuff for hotels like the rally that we're at now,
Yeah, right.
all sorts of stuff, and then having an action sports background. I think it's just given me an opportunity to have access, I guess, for lack of a better term, to these really rad, incredible people. And I think something like a podcast is a really rad way to tell stories, and beyond action sports, beyond BMX, beyond, my network. We've been talking about possibly interviewing gamers, TikTok personalities, social media personalities, and so on. And we have a couple that we're hoping to do in the coming weeks or months. And it's just exciting. It's really cool and exciting to tell stories, your story, my story, whatever it is. But yeah, that's kind of like my background. Like Bonesy said, he comes from the hockey world, a traditional sport world. It's rad.
Whoa, right. I think between the two of us, we have an opportunity to really like line up some, I want to say diverse because it doesn't fall into any specific niche, whether it is like action sports. I mean, even just hockey, but like stepping out of that in general, like I think you and I know enough legit, interesting people that could come on and like tell their story and make for a great podcast episode.
Big time. Yeah. And that's a huge thing for me is breaking outside of our own, comfort zone. For me, it's talking about snowboarding. It's talking about skiing. It's talking about BMX. It's talking about skateboarding, maybe surfing a little bit. And we were kind of talking about it loosely the other day. It's really funny. In a way, you start to listen to yourself talk. You hear yourself talk on videos and you're like, man, I have such a it's like such a like surf bro or snow bro like vibe. Dude, that was so tight kind of thing. So even just breaking out of what I've known forever and, doing a podcast with a pro hockey player alone to me is like so exciting.
Oh, dude, if we get someone with a thick Canadian accent on here, I am going to for sure jump into a full on Canadian accent just because that's how I am. Like
by default,
it's so bad. Honestly, it's so bad. I'm not Canadian at all, but just being like around Canadian people for so long, like playing hockey,
yeah,
it happens.
It's the best. And
it happens.
Yeah. Again, I'm sure you have crazy stories from Canada. I know we were talking about it the other day when you went up to Banff and shot stuff.
Oh man, Banff, Alberta is so sick. But yeah, like that whole thing, like kind of tying it all in together, ties in with the whole travel thing, just kind of lifestyle in general. And, just literally everything that this podcast is about.
There's going to be interviews. There's going to be moments where we kind of just want to rant and ramble about our travels.
Yeah.
We have a lot of really fun stories just from that. Me and Bonesy have only been traveling together for less than a year.
Yeah, right. It hasn't even been a full year at this point. We've done so much.
Yeah, we've covered so much ground.
Putting that into perspective is actually crazy to me because I didn't realize it's been such a short amount of time. But like I said, we've done so much. Even like just this trip, like staying at the rally, like going snowboarding. Like this was only my second time snowboarding ever. And I, had an opportunity to go snowboard at Copper Mountain with you. That's so
It's
sick.
so rad. It's actually, come to think of it, it's come full circle. The first time we had been outside of Nashville together was at the rally. We stayed at the rally all together.
Yo, that's
in
right.
June for Goldie's event.
That's right.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Oh man, yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
I mean, I guess fun little backstory on that whole thing. I had come down to Colorado for like a goalie coaches conference, basically in Boulder. No, it was in Breckenridge. Sorry,
Breckenridge. Yep.
And we stayed at the rally the first night that I had come into town, and that was really the first time that you and I had really hung out. We had met before, but as far as like trip, obviously, like that was the first big trip we did. You came up to Breckenridge. Shot a bunch of photos and stuff for that entire event, which was awesome. But yeah, being at the rally, this kind of ties everything back all together.
Yeah, it's kind of, I just thought about that, but like that trip was epic. You and Goose both stayed on the couch, right?
Yeah.
Or no, we had 2 rooms.
I stayed with you.
Yeah, wait. So we need to run this back real quick. So the reason I know Bonesy is because of Whit and Kaz in Nashville. I guess we should have started with that.
There's so much backstory at this point. Like
There is so
anybody
much
listening is
backstory.
like, who in the hell is Whit and Kaz?
Yeah,
and
so-
like, what is happening right now? This has potential to be a whole other episode at this point.
It really does. I guess we really should have dove into that though, and kind of created a base layer, created a strong foundation. But anyways, Bonesy and I have known each other for like almost 2 years now at this point, and we've covered a lot of ground. Traveled together,
Like
we've
literally.
dove into each other's heads on like really rad conversations during these travels, and honestly, it's just seemed like such a rad fit to do something like this
Right.
together.
Well,
you
it's
know?
really led to this whole situation.
That's that.
So here we are, sitting in front of a couple microphones.
Yeah, a couple of microphones. We
at a hotel?
traveled with. I bought an interface a few weeks ago, a new one that I've been really jazzed on and kind of completely nerding out over. Watching YouTube reviews and so on. I finally dove in. I had 2 of these pod mics for 2 or 3 years now. I repurposed an old camera case, and we were like, hey, listen, let's take this Denver trip and let's make it about this podcast kind of thing. Let's make it an excuse to finally film
Right.
this. Let's travel with this stuff and see how it travels, because it's a lot of stuff. It's heavy. It's
Right,
a
but
new
it's very
process.
mobile, man. Like this whole setup, like you popped up super fast. I mean, the fact that we're at the Raleigh Hotel really helps too, because obviously we have a really cool setup here. Which like visually, obviously, if you're able to like watch the video, you can see like we got a sick setup.
Yeah.
But you know, that was kind of an opportunity that we were like excited to capitalize on.
Yeah.
But I think as far as like a setup, like this is great. And like moving forward, like we could absolutely take this anywhere.
Yeah, and that's the thing is traveling with this thing and being able to bring the podcast to people we interview. I think that's such an exciting thought to me. You know, not making it about, hey, let's have this podcast at the same spot every time. For me, it's like at my apartment complex in the office setting.
Right.
Let's bring it to hotels. Let's bring it to, I don't know. We talked about bringing it in on van trips.
Van trips would be cool. I mean,
Be
even
insane.
just out like by the pool somewhere, hanging out like on the side of the road, just pulling over like mid van trip or something.
Should we do one on the side of the highway?
Dude, just cars driving by and everything. The Super Safe Podcast. Absolutely not
Just
safe.
brewing coffee and just hearing cars rip by
Like
tractor
as
trailers.
stupid and nerdy as that sounds, that'd be so much fun.
It would be sick, and that's the thing is we wanted to make this stuff like that like not out of the question. Granted, the
Right.
sound quality on something like that isn't going to be studio quality. It's definitely not on
No,
this.
dude, we're
one
gonna figure
either,
that out.
but
It's gonna sound so good. Don't listen to him. It's gonna sound amazing.
Get up close on the mic. Your voice sounds incredible through that thing. On
Hey,
the,
dude.
broadcast setting.
Yeah, it's the setting. Honestly, it's not even my voice. Just for anyone listening, this isn't my actual voice. This is the this is
Brings
the
out the
interface to make my
depths.
voice
It brings out
sound
the depths.
like this.
It sounds really good. But either way, we traveled with this stuff just to kind of see how it would go, and it's going great. So we're hoping to keep it up. It's the most bags I've ever traveled with, I think.
Come on, you've traveled with more before.
I think I've probably actually traveled with at least the same amount, if not more, but we definitely maxed out the free Southwest bags for sure.
Right.
So
Yeah.
thankful for Southwest for sure.
I mean, I don't know. I think the cool thing about traveling too is being able to take it to people, because I mean, it's one thing to like sit down on a Zoom chat and do a podcast with someone from, long distance, but you add the travel factor to it. You go to the person and you kind of get in their element too.
Big time.
It just kind of adds that whole other layer.
I think that's huge. And it kind of just, I think with COVID and stuff too, it kind of makes you like long for those human experiences.
Yeah,
And to
right.
me, that's like the most important thing is just authentic, real human experiences and diving into people's minds, seeing how they react. When you're looking through a computer screen, you don't get that. You don't get their hand that's hiding down here when they're on the computer. That,
Yeah, right.
that might be kind of fist bump or like, pumping in the air when they talk about something, or it's just, you get the whole thing. Maybe their foot's bouncing around because they're getting excited.
Well, even like when you watch a podcasting, someone gets excited, like they scoot forward, they move the mic over, and they just like lean into the conversation. It totally adds to it. Like obviously, like the visual element, but
Big time. And that's going to be the toughest thing I think about this is like, we're going to have it on, hopefully, definitely YouTube, hopefully Spotify, Apple Music. I don't even know where else there is. I know Amazon does it. Google has a podcast
Yeah, we're going to put it on Disney Plus. It's going to be on
Paramount, Netflix, hopefully.
Yeah, coming to a theater near you.
Yeah, all things to say. This is our KIFCast. Oh, wait, we didn't even say the name of it. I feel like there needs to be a greater reveal than me going, this is the KIFCast.
You know what? This was all the introduction. Now they know, like when there's a movie and there's this huge long intro and then they slap the title 30 minutes into the movie and you're like, well, now I know what the name of the movie is.
That's true. That's true. So, this is the KIFCast.
Hold on, Jason. What is KIF?
KIF. Oh, KIF. So KIF is kind of a thing me and some of my close buddies have done since like 2013. It started out as it started out as an Instagram page, and we just wanted to share our little weekend travels up to the mountains or to all these new skate parks. We're a bunch of BMX kids, so we wanted to travel and ride bikes as much as we could. So it started out as an Instagram page where we shared those moments. I want to say with the world, but we had like 400 followers at the time.
The world of 400 followers.
Yeah, you know how it is when you're young. You're just this is so exciting.
No, that's huge.
And yeah, we started it. We got really excited. We just wanted something, and then we ended up. I think we printed a few shirts, like 30 shirts, and sold them. And then I rebranded and relaunched my outdoors company that I previously co-owned, and put it all under KIF. Now I'm trying to kind of figure that stuff out and maybe make it more of a lifestyle brand. Anyways, the KIFCast is the Keep It Fun podcast, and we just wanted to tie on that. For me, Keep It Fun is kind of the way it sounds cheesy, but dude, it is the way we live, man.
Yes, I was going to say, just say it. It's a way of life, really, honestly. And like everyone has their own way of keeping it fun, which, us talking about this whole thing in general is really kind of a great way to sell not only just a podcast, but like talking to, everyone that we're going to have on the show. Like, how do they keep it fun?
Yeah. And that's the thing that's so important to me. And to go back to what we were saying earlier, not to keep, jumping on that, but it's really important to me to tell people's stories, because for me, it's not all about, like I said, BMX has been my whole life, and snowboarding has been my whole life, and action sports have been my life since I was 6 years old. I started skiing when I was 3. I started snowboarding when I was 6.
I started snowboarding when I was today's years old.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, right.
But it's, it's like hockey. For you, maybe it's like, this will help break out of only talking about hockey all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's such an exciting thing to be able to tell, we were talking about having musicians on, songwriters, authors, artists, whatever it is, just telling cool stories. And the brand of Keep It Fun for me, not even to call it a brand, because that makes it seem like that's all it's about. But the idea of Keep It Fun is really just telling, again, human stories and showcasing how people live their lives, how they move through every day, how they get excited, maybe how they make money, because we live in such a cool time too, where there's so many weird ways of making money. People are literally making millions of dollars from their cell phone with a Shopify website.
Right.
And it's so sick.
Right.
And I want to tell that story.
Yeah.
So to me, that's all it is. It's very simple, but it's also, humans are very complex. And I think that's what makes it so exciting for me.
No, it's super exciting. I know for myself personally, it's like, like you said, I, so focused on hockey, but there's so many things for myself personally outside of hockey that don't really get expressed, especially like as loudly as hockey, because, I've been so involved with hockey, and I started doing my own hockey social media stuff too, but being able to kind of step outside of that, but also still in the same space, like, that's super exciting for me. And then like hearing all these stories from other people and, the fun, exciting things they do too is fun.
It's so exciting. It really is. Another way you and I relate so much is we have all these weird, random hobbies outside of those things, even like, the perfect example is like my mom telling me like, you need to focus on like one thing. Like if you could channel all your energy, you have so many projects going on and you have so many hobbies. If you could channel it all towards one thing, you'd be freaking a millionaire. And I'm like, I can't. And like, I kind of like it this way.
No, right.
Like I have this podcast idea. I have like, I want to make vlogs when we travel. I want to still ride my bike. I want to snowboard. I have the most random hobbies that I enjoy. Dude.
Right,
Like,
but they're like the heavy hitters in your life that really bring like satisfaction and like joy to your life, and like that is huge.
like I said, there's these little things like, dude, I like sewing.
Yeah,
It's the most random thing.
you do, and that's so pure. But like, that's so great that you're just like, yo, you know what? I love sewing.
Like, it's the most random. That's what's funny though. It's like even those stupid little things that I enjoy, but it's like I want to tell people stories. Like I said, that successful entrepreneur who's running a crazy website that blew up. Like, what do they go home and want to do? Is it knitting? Is it,
Right.
Is it nerdy research about more ways to make money? I don't know, but I want to dive into that.
Yeah.
Because it's so cool. And I have a couple friends that are like that, where they like making beanies. They're like, dude, I don't even know. It could be anything.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. And I think, again, that's another way we relate. Vinyl records.
Dude, that's such a huge hobby of mine. And that's another one of those things that like I don't really have an opportunity to really talk about or express very much, which is fine. It's just always been something that I've done on my own and something that I've always enjoyed.
Yeah.
But like you said, there could be someone out there who does this very interesting thing, but then they go home and like decompress and they have a totally separate thing that you have no idea about, like
100%.
like bonsai trees. Like maybe they go home and prune their bonsai. Like, you know what I mean?
1,000%.
Like, so interesting too.
It's so sick.
And that
like,
opens up a whole other category of conversation outside of, the main thing that they do, which is interesting enough.
yeah, dude, imagine how many weird little hobbies like pro hockey players probably have.
Dude, honestly, I feel like it's
I have a couple.
that's a
BMX
whole other category.
Yeah.
That is because
I know, but I'm saying like just the thought of it is so exciting. I have like snowboard friends who have weird, crazy hobbies outside of snowboarding.
Oh, yeah.
BMX friends, like it's the same thing. So why not dive into just people's weird headspaces?
No, I love it. I'm literally here for it.
Let's go.
I'm literally sitting in front of this microphone here for this.
You got so close. Honestly,
sometimes you got to get close to that microphone.
We're 23 minutes deep into this episode, and it feels like we're 6 minutes in.
This is going to happen a lot.
This is going to happen a lot.
This is going to happen a lot.
I'm worried that
have we talked about anything yet?
No, it's literally just us rambling, but that's okay. I think that's what this one's for.
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah. The first one's dust off. I was going to say the cobwebs, but we've never done this. So
Yeah. We're some old vets here on the whole podcast thing. We've been doing this for a whole 27 minutes.
27 minutes. We've done a couple tests, and you've actually done a couple with hockey stuff.
I've been hosted on a few different podcasts, from, super brand new to podcast to like had been around for a while, and they're fun. They're fun to be a part of. So it's kind of cool to like actually sit down and like kind of do something here, like what we're doing here.
Anything else we should get off our chests before we wrap this one up on an intro podcast?
Honestly, there's probably so much that we should talk about, but at this point it's like
We could talk about literally anything. Nothing is off limits. Lifestyle, travel, human experiences. We want to talk about it all. If you're listening and you want to be on a podcast and you have something interesting to say or interesting to talk about, whether it's sports, whether it's video games, whether it's vlogging, whether it's traveling.
Are you a masseuse?
Are you a masseuse? Are you a masseuse with a cool story?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right.
Why not?
Do you do magic?
Do you do magic? Do you own a business? That would be, I think, my favorite, is to dive into people who have cool businesses.
Yo, yeah, definitely.
Obscure businesses, more specifically, that are like ripping.
Oh, yeah.
That's so exciting to me.
Like diving into the super obscure space that like maybe not a lot of people know about, but like have so much to talk about.
Super niche.
Because that's the other thing is like, I know you're a very like, oh man, what's the word? Inquisitive. I know you're a very inquisitive person. So like, I'm also a pretty inquisitive person too. So like something that we don't really understand, we're here to like learn more about and get a better understanding of.
That was one of the things that we kind of, again, Bonesy and I have dove into each other's minds a little bit on our time on the road. And the amount that we've spent together. But, it's really important to me that, Bonesy's a very intelligent person. Also,
stop it.
You're also very excited and eager to learn, and you're not afraid you're not afraid to risk ignorance in pursuit of like learning. And I think that's so important, because I think there's so many times, And I would probably never say like, oh, I think I'm the same way. But I do think to an extent we're both that way and we relate on that level. So I think it's important when you're trying to learn and you're trying to dive into people's minds to not worry about if you sound a little silly. There's going to be topics most of everything I don't know anything about.
You're right.
There's going to be topics that are so far out of left field, with what we know, that asking the most basic question to someone listening that knows about that is going to be like, what?
Right. I mean, to say like there's no such thing as a dumb question, I feel like is false. There is a such thing as a dumb question. Actually, no, I take that back. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
We're taking that and we're running with it.
But that's what I mean. Like, we're definitely taking that, running with it, because like, genuinely from the heart, I don't know anything about the magic space. I don't know anything about what it takes to be a masseuse, but like, asking what would be maybe a dumb question could really open up the door for like better understanding. And it's like, it's what makes it so interesting, honestly.
Yeah, big time. And if someone can learn something from this podcast, that's a crazy thing to say out loud, but if someone can learn something from this or take something away from it, or, be inspired to, say, again, we have a gamer on here, we have a social media influencer or personality on here, and they inspire them to do something similar, that's rad. And that's literally why I want to do something like this, is to get people stoked. So KIFCast.
The KIFCast,
man. 28 minutes
so
deep.
Kif.
What do you think? Should we wrap this one up?
Yeah, dude, let's get the hell out of here.
We're only 28 minutes in to the first episode, but we're going to wrap this thing up, and I hope you like it. Hope you like what we have to offer and the episodes we have coming in. I want to keep this one short and kind of just, this is
fun.
what it is.
You wanted to keep it fun? How original, Jason. You want to keep it fun on the KIFCast. So funny, dude.
I wanted to keep this one short, and I wanted to keep this one fun and just give you a quick rundown on what this thing's going to be.
I think we did it.
And I think we did that. Not even 30 minutes. The next episode's going to be a heck of a lot longer, and I hope you are ready for it. Hope you're ready for this series. And got anything for them, Dustin?
No, not at all. I'm very excited, and I hope you are too. So
hope you guys are stoked. Get ready to strap in and get ready for the ride. KIFCast, baby.
Sheesh.
See you soon. Love you. Bye.